Hi, this is Matt Strawn from Volkis, and in this video I'd like to go over a couple of report ranger functions that help make reports a bit more consistent, help you reorder reports and copy and paste things here and there without messing up numbering and messing up summary tables. The first of the functions, the features I'd like to go over, is a simple counter. Here we've got 4 recommendations, 1, 2, 3, and 4, but what if we want to reorder this? Suddenly you've got 1, 4, 2, 3. Report Ranger helps with this use case with a function called counter. So let's change these to counter. And suddenly it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 again, and we can copy and paste, reorder, whatnot, and the report will renumber all the recommendations. So it's still 1, 2, 3, 4. Counters can have a name. So let's put in recommendation as the name of the counter. And that means you can have another counter. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, despite the recommendations still being 1, 2, 3, 4. So that new counter won't affect the recommendation counter. You can also get the current value of the counter each time you call the function counter. It'll add 1. You can just get the current value without adding 1 by using the getCounter function. So 1, 2, let's put in so this is recommendation 2, and they'll just get it without changing the counter. Finally, there's resets counter. This will reset the value of the counter. So 1, 2, counter's reset here, and it'll be 1, 2 again. One interesting piece about this counter function, this counter function is quite simple. It will just simply return the next number as part of the code where it appears in the code. Sometimes that's not ideal. Report Ranger can use pre-processing. It can, especially when you're using complex functions like build from data, it can have a bit of an unpredictable way of processing the code that you give it. It might not necessarily be the way it's finally represented in the report. For instance, if we have, this is a bit of an arbitrary one, but if we have 100 rows, here, so I'm just repeating the same row 100 times. You might think that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not because counters returned 1 here. It has nothing to do with the final report. There is a function, a counter in Report Ranger that does. That will guarantee that with the final reports, it will display the counter that it's up to. And that's ICounter. ICounter has a separate registry, separate names, whatnot. But when you call ICounter, it will guarantee that wherever it is in a report, no matter what pre-processing or whatever has been done, it will show the number where it is in the report. ICounter, you can use get ICounter as well and reset ICounter, and it works exactly the same as counter. Another use case that comes up quite a lot is summary tables. We've got 4 recommendations. Often you want a summary table up here. Now, summary tables would, if you're doing a markdown, it'll be something like this. And it's already getting a bit annoying here. I'll just delete those 2 rows. But the problem comes, of course, let's say you want to reorder things, which you often do, to reprioritize, that kind of thing. Suddenly the summary table's wrong. The summary table isn't carrying through the counters here. The summary table's not in the right order. So we want something to help us along there. What you can do in Report Ranger is build a table throughout the report. And you do that with the table row function and the display table function. So table row takes a table name and a row. So this is a Python list for a row. So let's get that counter for the first cell, and let's do the title there. And we want those 4 rows. This still does require a little bit of copy and paste. And then at the top, instead of using markdown directly, we can use display table. You give it the table name, and you can use it just as any other table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the header. So when this is here, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and the recommendations there. That means if you copy and paste here, these recommendations won't just reorder in the body of the report, but they'll reorder in the summary table as well. This makes things not just a lot more consistent, but you might find it a bit easier to write the summary tables, because what happens is you're going to be editing this part of the reports. At the same time that you've got everything there, you can put in commentary and whatnot as you're dynamically creating that table. So I find this is a very useful function for when you've got a whole bunch of recommendations and you want to put in summaries and throughout the reports. It just makes things a lot simpler and easier to put together. Hope this has helped you and gives you a few ideas for how to make your reports better. This is all documented in the Report Ranger wiki, which the link should be below. And if you have any questions, then put in comments and we'll try and help you out. Otherwise, hope that you go well with creating your reports, and hope this has given you a few ideas. Cheers.